What is up, guys? My name is Hunter. For those of you that don't know, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to just do today we're going to be doing just a quick video with some new news. Again, I apologize for the dog noises. I have a new dog, and if she's out of the room and can't see me, she freaks out. So, got a dog right here. All right, so Sony A7S III is being released. It looks like the launch event will take place July 28th via Sony Alpha Rumors and also DP Review, which I'm guessing they got that from Sony Alpha Rumors. But I just want to run through the specs, see how I feel about the camera, how this thing's going to look compared to the Sony A7S II, which is pretty outdated at this point. So let's see where we are. I'm assuming this thing is being released so abruptly to counteract the Canon R5, which I did a video on yesterday, came out last night. So let's talk about the A7S III. So Sony decided to stay with, it looks like a 12 megapixel sensor, so really good in low light, and it's going to be strictly a video camera. You can take stills with it, but it's just not going to really be good for that. On Alpha Rumors, it looks like it's unclear if they're using a quad Bayer 48 megapixel sensor with an effective 12 megapixels or a simple 12 megapixel sensor. We'll see how this actually pans out, if it's actually going to be like a 12 megapixel sensor or something a little more, technical. Specs for this thing, obviously it's going to be a video camera, so we'll see how it comes out. Finally, Sony is adding 10-bit 422 video recording, which is something that I think they should have done a long time ago. So they're finally up to par with the competition. You are noisy. So something they should have done a while ago. Base ISO 160 for S-Log3. I'm just, at this point, running through the specs I'm seeing on here. We don't have a lot of information on it, but this thing looks like it's going to be a beast of a video camera. I may pick it up as like a strict video camera, use the A7 III for photos. One of the big exciting things about this camera is that it's going to be the world's highest resolution. So it's going to be the world's highest resolution electronic viewfinder, coming in at 9.44 million dot EVF. That's crazy. That's way higher than anything that is out right now. I believe the EOS R5 was running around 5 million dot EVF, which is still phenomenal. But 9.44 million, that is crazy. That is crazy. So let's move on. So we got a passive noise-free cooling system with a mesh on the side to let air in. Camera's still weather sealed, so looks like they're doing some new stuff. I remember I saw that the Sony one of the Sony executives came out and said everything about this camera is new. So they've redone everything. So they're doing full HD 240 frames per second, 4K 120 frames per second, 10-bit 422, like I said, so they're finally up to par with the competition. 4K 120 frames per second raw over HDMI. That's awesome. So finally, with the Sony, you can record some raw footage up to 4K 120 frames per second. Can't beat that. That's not bad. Max native ISO for this thing is going to be 409,600, which is great, and I'm not surprised seeing as it's still running on a 12 megapixel sensor. Again, you won't want to use this thing for photos. It'll work, but it's just not going to be up to par with like a photo camera. Let's see here. All right, really quick feature, Hunter. I forgot to add in. Sony cameras have always been kind of capped at 100 megabytes per second bitrate, and that has been something that I have hated personally. Doesn't give you a lot of room to work with for editing and color grading, but this Sony A7S III looks like it's going to be recording at 600 megabytes per second bitrate, which I believe is higher than the current EOS R. So that is an amazing upgrade. So we'll have to see what else comes out about this camera. All right, so running on the 422 10-bit, surprisingly they didn't put an XQD in this thing, but for not the first time, but the first A7S camera, UHS 2 card support. I hopefully it will be 2 UHS 2 card slots. I'll be really bummed if they only put one in, but I don't think they're going to do that. And it says it looks pretty similar to the A7R Mark IV, which means it's going to have that bigger body. And one big thing that I think a lot of people are going to be happy about, fully articulating screen like the ZV-1. If you have seen the ZV-1, it's Sony's like vlogging specific camera. And instead of having a screen flipping up over the back to the top, it actually flips off to the side, fully articulating like a Canon camera would. If they do put that on the A7S III, I think as much as that shouldn't be, a big factor for people, that is going to be one of the big selling points, since everybody has been begging Sony to do this for a very long time. It looks like, so announcement late July, which means this thing just got leaked on Alpha Rumors, and they're already coming out with it later this month. Again, I'm not surprised. It's probably to, counteract the Canon cameras. Either way, it's going to be pretty close on this. People don't need 8K, so if you just want 4K video and you want really good 4K video, you're going to be kind of deciding between, if you're on Sony, do I want to stick with Sony or go to Canon, or vice versa, because it seems like it's going to be pretty on par with the new Canon video cameras, which they did market as video cameras, the R5, which I think was a mistake on their part, but we're not talking about that camera. We're talking about this one. So shipment start is mid-August. I'm really curious, since this camera didn't have as much buildup as the Canons, if they're going to be as backlogged, because personally, working in a camera store, I know the R5, the list on that, it's going to take months to get through and get everyone their cameras. So I'm really curious if this one is going to start getting pre-orders anytime soon, if people are going to start calling and actually wanting to get on a list for this thing. But overall, A7S III looks phenomenal, and honestly, this might stop me from switching over to Canon, because this thing looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome camera. There's really not a lot of specs on it at this point. It's just a leak. It's just a rumor on Alpha Rumors, but we'll see. Looks like July 28th is going to be when they announce it, hopefully. I don't think that's spot on, but, it may be, looks like 10 a.m., July 28th, 2020. So, watch those rumor sites, watch DP Review, because if that does happen, that will be out and everybody's going to be freaking out about it, because people have been asking for this camera for years, since the A7 II came out. And then everyone just kind of moved over to either the A7 III or the A7R4 for video cameras, even though, honestly, in my opinion, the A7R4 isn't a great video camera compared to the A7 III. It's just, it works, it looks really good, but the A7 III is probably a better one. It's meant more as kind of a hybrid camera, video and photo. So that's what everyone has been using, because the A7S II, even though it still has an awesome camera, things like autofocus, and just a lot of the simple software and hardware body style is way outdated at this point. So let's see if this thing actually comes out and ends up being as badass as it looks. But anyway, that's it for me. I just wanted to go over this leak, this rumor that has come out that came to my attention. We'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks in terms of specs, if anything else gets announced. And from there, I will update. I will get back to you with it. But on that note, I am out. You guys have a good one, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Have a wonderful day.